All right, we're going to be moving into the intercostal muscles. So these are the muscles that are between your ribs at each level. So between each rib, you have an internal and an external muscle that will basically help to compress and open the rib cage as you're breathing. So to get into this area, I would recommend using something a little softer, because going right on the bone is going to be pretty intense. So it's important that we don't use anything too strong, because we don't want to damage the tissue, we don't want to irritate the ribs. So I use these like squishy medicine balls. They're full of sand. You can usually find them online. It's a really good tool to get into those more sensitive areas and still get some of that fascial movement. So we're going to start with one of these softer balls. And this is very similar to the obliques that we were doing, but we're going to move our contact from where we were into that soft squishy area. We're going to move up into the rib cage. Now typically where the adhesions are going to be, if you find your lower ribs and the upper rib, we're going to be right about in the middle. And we're going to be in what's called the axillary line. So right underneath your armpit, if you were to draw a line straight down to your hip, that's the line we're going to be working. So from here, we're going to place our ball about into that mid-range right there. I'm going to slide my bottom leg straight. And now for this, I'm going to actually bring my arm out a little bit further to get some more lengthening and opening into the rib cage. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm reaching my heel away from my fingertips on this side. Now from here, I'm going to just use my breath mostly to get some movement into the muscles between the ribs. So this can be pretty intense. Again, we don't want to apply a lot of pressure and we don't want to spend a whole lot of time here. So again, we're actively reaching heel away from fingers. And the breath is probably the most important part of this technique to get the fascia to start opening and closing. All right, I'm going to slide a little bit higher, almost up and into my armpit. It could feel a little more sensitive in this area. So we're going to reach through the heel, reach through the fingertips. This hand's just kind of stabilizing so I'm not falling one way or the other. We're going to breathe. Good. Actively reach through the heel, through the fingers, opening that lateral line. Excellent. So I'd say work maybe 1-2 points each time you do it. You could work a little bit different area because these can get pretty sore, so it's hard to work these spots multiple days in a row. So it's good to kind of move your point a little bit. So if I start at midpoint, maybe I'll move it into the lowers a little bit more here. All right, so again, reaching through the heel. Again, we're going to slide the elbow out like when we were doing the obliques. I had my elbow down and we were kind of anchoring a little more. So for this, reach through your fingertips, reach through your heel, stabilize here, big breath in, all the way in, all the way out. As you're breathing out, I'm really reaching. Reach a little further. Perfect. Let's do one more breath here. Good, and let's roll up a little higher. Again, 1-2 points. It's a pretty large area, but you'll find that you're going to have 1 or 2 specific areas that are a lot tighter and a lot more tender than others, and those are the areas you should focus on. Big reach, and out. One more. And out. Perfect. Now we'll come out slow out of this one. I usually don't use much more than a soft medicine ball. You could do tennis ball, you could do racket ball, you could use a lacrosse ball, but I'll be very careful using something like this in this area. If you wanted to, if it was too intense to lay on, you could just start to use the ball and find where your ribs are and just start to work kind of between the rib cage a little bit. Not a lot of pressure. Again, just kind of bringing some awareness, bringing some mobility into that tissue will go a long way. So let's try that one out. Just be safe with this one. If it hurts too much, just back off. Again, you could always just start by, doing some gentle mobilizations with the ball in your hand. Great way to start. All right, well, be safe. We'll see you on the next one.